in nakedness,
and to come back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge and learn God's laws, statutes, and commandments from the real prophets of God. That is the only way to fix the conditions of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
and in want of all things.
And what?
And in want of all things.
No matter what we want in life, no matter what we want, it could be food, it could be get a haircut, it could be to get scissors, tools, wood, lumber, tools, whatever you want. We have to go to our oppressor in order to get it. It said what?
Nakedness,
and to come back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge and learn God's laws, statutes, and commandments from the real prophets of God. That is the only way to fix the conditions of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
And what?
And in want of all things.
No matter what we want in life, no matter what we want, it could be food, it could be get a haircut, it could be to get scissors, tools, wood, lumber, tools, whatever you want. We have to go to our oppressor in order to get it. It said what?
And in want of all things.
If you want a house, if you want a place to stay, you have to go to our oppressor in order to survive. It said what?
And in want of all things.
If you want running water in your house, if you want electricity in your house, if you want gas in your house, if you want a place to stay and not be homeless and not be on the street, you have to go to our oppressor just in order to survive. It said what?
And in want of all things.
Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Like the Lord said, our oppressor is going to put a yoke of iron on our neck, man. The Lord, our oppressor is going to oppress us until no return, man. If us as a people, man, if we are not serving our oppressor the way he wants to serve us, it's like the way he wants us to serve him, we are going homeless. We are going to be poor. If you decide to not wake up and go to work in the morning, we're not going to have any money to buy food and get groceries in our house, feed our children, feed our families. We're not going to be able to get running water in our house, gas in our cribs. We have to serve our oppressor in order to survive. And the Lord wants us to realize this. Give me Judges chapter 6, verse 1. The Lord wants us to realize that we are in want of all things to our oppressor. No thanks to the Christian church, no thanks to our oppressor. No thanks to Martin Luther King, no thanks to our oppressor. We are in the poverty that we're in today, man. We are struggling and in the conditions because of America. The Lord wants us to unjoin ourselves. The Lord wants us to the Lord wants us to divide ourselves. The Lord wants us to be separate. This is the only way to fix our people, man. Go ahead.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 6, verse 1. And the children of Israel
said what?
And the children of Israel.
Like this is talking about the children of Israel. It's talking about the Puerto Ricans. It's talking about the Mexicans. It's talking about the Dominicans. It's talking about the Haitians. It's talking about the Navajo, the Iroquois, the Pequots, the Cherokee, the Seminole Indians. You understand? The Costa Ricans, the El Salvadorians, the Cubans, the Peruvians. This is who the Bible is talking about. This is who the Lord is talking to.
And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord.
Like we did evil in the sight of the Lord. It is an evil thing to join ourselves to another nation and race of people, man. Like Martin Luther King, if he was a real man of God, if Malcolm X was a real so-called man of God, if these so-called Christian pastors and bishops and religious leaders were real men of God, they would have never joined us to America, because that is an evil thing unto the Lord.
And the Lord delivered them into
Go ahead.
And the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian.
In the Lord, go ahead. In the Lord what?
And the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian.
And the Lord delivered us and delivered the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans to Midian, to another nation and race of people. Go ahead.
7 years.
7 years. Go ahead. Go down. Go to verse 2.
And the hand of the Midian prevailed.
It said what?
And the hand of Midian prevailed.
Prevailed, man, meaning to prosper, to have an advantage of. You understand? Like this is what happens. Go ahead.
Against Israel.
Like this is what happens when we do evil in the sight of the Lord. Like this is what's going to happen when we join ourselves to another nation and race of people. These other nations are going to prevail against thee, man. Like the reason why the Vietnamese are so rich and the Chinese are getting all of the money and the Japanese and the Koreans are taking all of the wealth from blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in Richmond, in our neighborhoods, in our cities, like Newport News, like in Hampton, like in Portsmouth, like in Suffolk, like in Virginia Beach, like in Norfolk, is because we joined ourselves to them, man. We did evil in the sight of the Lord. Go ahead. And they prevailed against thee.
And because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains.
Like because our neighborhoods got so bad, man. Like our neighborhoods are so poor. Like this is the Lord trying to bring something out, man. Because of our oppressor. No thanks to Christianity. No thanks to the Christian religious leaders. No thanks to Martin Luther King. Our neighborhoods are uninhabitable. You understand? We are no longer, we can't even live in our own neighborhoods. You know why? Because it's full of coke, it's full of crack, full of Molly, full of Percocets, full of gang violence. All of this is to blame because of our oppressor. MLK is to blame why we can't live in our neighborhoods anymore.